Hi historians, let's now have a crack at writing to the ISMG. You've looked at some sources. You should have written perhaps a paragraph about 250 to maybe 300 words, playing with the sources and the textbook and some notes that I was giving you in the last video. So let's now take a look at that ISMG and remind ourselves what we're looking for. Have a look, you've got 5 criteria. Even if you pause this video from time to time and look at these carefully and figure out the differences between the different grade ranges. Often it's the descriptors opening words, thorough and mostly accurate versus appropriate, detailed versus adequate, informed versus reasonable, discerning identification versus identification, detailed examination versus examination, informed explanation versus explanation, a combination of information to justify insightful decisions versus reasonable decisions, sophisticated arguments versus basic arguments, from a range of sources rather than just from sources. Evaluating requires discerning judgments about usefulness and reliability as opposed to adequate judgments. If you don't mention usefulness and reliability, you might get no marks at all. Succinct, conveying logical ideas, conveying ideas. Features of a paragraph consistently demonstrated with ethical scholarship. No consistently here. Minimal errors in spelling and grammar and punctuation versus some errors or frequent errors. So take a moment there and think about what this means and how you might demonstrate that in a paragraph. In a moment, I'm going to show you a paragraph I've put together. Now remember, I've been doing this for a while. As you've obviously spotted, I'm nearly 30 and I've been working on paragraph writing for some time now. That's a joke, by the way. I might be slightly older than that. Let's have a look at the paragraph I've written in response to these sources and your textbook. Make sure you're using a textbook. I've really tried to emphasize this in the videos. Make sure you're using a textbook and box of books. Okay, you've got 4 sources plus the textbook to use here, a range of sources. Make use of them. Here's what I've done. Now in your OneNote, you've got a version of this blank paragraph without any annotations on it. You can now annotate it as you wish. This is what I've written. It's about 300 words, so it's about the length you could do in an exam. Now you're trying to demonstrate the ISMG on balance across the entire paper. It's very hard to do all of those elements all of the time with every source. In fact, it's so hard it's not necessary. But I'm trying to show you what I could do with this one question and the sources that you've been given. So get your highlighter out, get the stylus at the ready, maybe split the screen, do your Control-M or whatever. Listen to me talking about this while you are annotating this paragraph that I've mocked up as an example. Firstly, can you identify the features of a paragraph clearly? Has it got a clear structure? Think Peel structures, PEEP structures, Teal structures, whatever you're used to. But the point will be at the start and a link back to the question at the end. The P and a P. Okay, I used to talk about PEEP structures at times. Okay, has it been written in third person? Has it got capitals? Is it in sentences? If you're writing bullet points, then it's not a paragraph, so you're not going to score well. If you put the enters, if you leave a line break between each sentence, it's no longer a paragraph, so you're not going to have clear features of a paragraph. Ethical scholarships, can you identify in here? Mark them. Where I am referencing ideas. Am I naming the source? Am I giving it a year of publication? Am I ethically, or am I showing ethical scholarship by referencing? Have I answered the task in a succinct way? Am I on point or am I waffling around it? Am I just telling people about the Russo-Japanese War? Am I just telling people about Tsarism? Am I answering the task succinctly? Am I to the point? Am I using terms thoroughly throughout the task? Am I using terms every opportunity I can all the way through? That will help me be succinct, by the way. Am I accurate in my use of terms? Or have I confused the terms? Am I calling things the wrong name? Have I got detailed explanations given that I can only do about 250 to 300 words? Have I connected ideas in an informed way? Is this like a woven fabric of ideas here, or is it disjointed where I can't see a clear connection between different ideas and the question? Have I made careful choices? Have I been discerning, if you like, in what features I use from the sources? Have I been discerning in choosing which elements I include in my paragraph? Yes, I can analyze and identify a lot in these sources, but have I hit the right elements in a discerning way? Have I made the right choices to include from a range of sources, not just one or two? Have I got a certain amount of detail there? While I've been discerning, have I got a detailed examination of the features of the sources? Have I focused enough on those sources? Or have I been skating across the surface a bit too superficial? Am I combining evidence to build a sophisticated argument? Or am I just relying on one source? Am I bringing it together? Am I connecting the sources? Am I weaving them together into one response that talks about how significant or why the Russo-Japanese War is significant at this time? Have I made decisions in this piece of writing about the usefulness and reliability of the sources? How have I done that? Am I explicitly talking about usefulness and reliability? Am I saying this source is useful because, or due to such and such, it's useful? Because it connects to another source, it's reliable. Am I corroborating a source? This source and this source both indicate this. X and Y combine to make another point. Okay, hopefully you're getting my idea on corroboration there. Think about it, annotate what I've got there, take your time, think it through, and then move on to the next part of this video. And that's where I've annotated it for you. Firstly, the yellow highlights hopefully indicate my point and my link sentence, my P and P if I'm talking PEEP, my P&L or my TNL. Okay, think about the structures. The blue highlighted areas are where I am introducing my own understanding of content, and hopefully I'm using it in a way that connects to sources. In the green highlights, you can see where I picked up on certain keywords in the ISMG like perspective. I've made a judgment about usefulness. I've made a decision there. I've made a explicit decision on the source's reliability. That doesn't read poorly, by the way, it's worked in. And I have corroborated by saying it's reliable interpretation supported by someone else, another source. The artwork is corroborated by the textbook. Think about that, it's supported by. All right, the green areas are where I am dealing with features of the sources themselves. Okay, so take a moment, think about what I'm doing there, how I'm using the ideas.